Seniors, why older adults keep waking up at 3 a.m. and what it really means for your health and sleep. Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., the house silent, your thoughts louder than ever? You are not alone. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not just a random habit or simply one of those things that happens with age. It can be your body's quiet way of telling you something important, something about your health, your mind, and your life journey so far. In fact, recent research shows that early morning wake-ups often reveal hidden changes in your hormones, your heart, even your emotions, long before you notice them during the day. Many older adults, just like you and me, experience this shift without even realizing what it truly means. And understanding it can change not just how you sleep, but how you care for yourself in this beautiful, wise season of life. Today, we will uncover 7 powerful reasons why you might be waking up around 3 a.m. and what these moments are really trying to tell you. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn could bring you not just better sleep, but a deeper peace with your body, your journey, and your nights. And if you find value in understanding your body and living with more wisdom every day, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. Your journey to deeper rest and healthier living is just beginning, and I would love for us to walk this path together. Now let us begin. Reason 1. Melatonin loss and early morning wake-ups. There is a quiet, almost invisible change that begins to happen as we grow older, one that many people do not notice until the sleepless nights creep in. It starts with a simple shift, a drop in melatonin. Melatonin is often called the sleep hormone, the natural chemical that helps signal to your body when it is time to rest. When we are young, melatonin flows abundantly in the evening, wrapping us in a deep, uninterrupted sleep that carries us through the night. But as the decades pass, our bodies start to produce less and less of it. This decline is not a flaw, it is part of the natural rhythm of aging. And for many older adults, it becomes most noticeable around 2 or 3 a.m. when the dwindling supply of melatonin simply is not strong enough to keep you asleep. Imagine it like a gentle tide pulling back from the shore. You are still lying in your bed, but the wave of deep sleep that once held you has quietly receded, leaving you awake and wondering why. Take Harold, for example. At 72, Harold always considered himself a good sleeper. He had his evening routine, a little dinner, a favorite TV show, maybe a crossword puzzle before bed. For years, he slept through the night without trouble. But lately, he finds himself wide awake at 3:15 a.m., staring at the ceiling in the soft darkness. No pain, no bad dreams, just wakefulness, unexpected and unwelcome. At first, Harold blamed himself. Maybe he was worrying too much. Maybe he was just getting old. But when he spoke with his doctor, he learned the truth. His melatonin levels had naturally declined with age. This realization changed everything for Harold. Instead of feeling frustrated with his body, he started working with it. He made his bedroom darker, using blackout curtains to block streetlights. He turned off all screens an hour before bed, swapping TV time for quiet reading. He even added a gentle evening walk, soaking in the last natural light of the day to help reinforce his body's natural rhythm. And while Harold still wakes up early sometimes, the wake-ups are softer now, less jarring, and often he can drift back into sleep with a few deep breaths. Understanding melatonin decline helps turn frustration into compassion. It reminds us that our bodies are not betraying us. They are simply evolving, as they always have. If you find yourself waking at 3 a.m., it might not be anxiety or poor habits or anything you are doing wrong. It could be this quiet shift in your internal chemistry, asking you to be a little gentler, a little wiser, with the beautiful vessel that has carried you so far in life. And with that understanding, you can make small, kind adjustments to create a night that supports deeper, more peaceful rest. Now that we have uncovered the quiet role of melatonin, let us move into another powerful shift that could be behind your early wake-ups, one that has to do with the ticking of your very own inner clock. Reason 2. Your body's clock shifts earlier with age. As we grow older, the way our bodies tell time begins to shift, quietly but powerfully, like a clock that starts ticking to a slightly different rhythm. This change is called advanced sleep phase syndrome, a natural adjustment in our internal biological clock, and it explains why many older adults find themselves sleepy earlier in the evening and wide awake before the sun has even risen. You might have noticed it yourself. Perhaps you used to stay up late, catching the evening news, enjoying a good book, or savoring a long conversation with a loved one. But now, somewhere around 8:30 or 9:01 p.m., your eyelids grow heavy, your body calls for rest, and by 3:01 or 4:00 a.m., you are fully alert, wondering why you cannot simply sleep until morning like you used to. It is not your fault. It is not that you are restless or broken. It is simply biology. Over time, the body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs sleep and wake cycles, begins to shift earlier. Melatonin releases earlier in the evening. The body's temperature drops sooner. Brain signals that once said, "Stay awake a little longer," now whisper, "It is time to rest." Hours earlier than before. Let me share the story of Charles. Charles, now 68 and retired, used to be a night owl. He would stay up until midnight reading, tinkering in his garage, or enjoying a late movie with his wife. But after retirement, things slowly changed. He began eating dinner earlier, his evenings grew quieter, and without the busy schedule of work to anchor him, his body naturally started winding down sooner each night. At first, he resisted it, pushing himself to stay up later, drinking coffee after dinner, watching TV until midnight. But all it did was leave him feeling exhausted the next day. It was only when Charles embraced the shift, allowing himself to follow his body's new rhythm, that he found peace again, with sleep. He adjusted his bedtime slightly later, but still respected his body's cues. He created a gentle, structured evening routine, a short walk after dinner, reading under soft lighting, calling a friend for a warm chat. These simple rituals helped stretch his sleep window just enough so that when he went to bed, he could sleep longer into the morning, closer to when the world was ready to wake up too. Charles learned an important truth. Fighting the body's natural rhythm often leads to frustration, but working with it, gently and wisely, brings back balance. If you find yourself waking up at 3 a.m., feeling oddly refreshed, almost as if you had completed a full night's rest, it might just mean that your internal clock has shifted earlier, and your body is waiting for you to notice and honor this beautiful new rhythm. Rather than resisting, you can create new evening habits. Spend time in brighter light during the early evening. Stay socially engaged in the later hours. Choose calm, stimulating activities that gently nudge bedtime back. Little by little, you can guide your body's clock without force, helping it find a rhythm that feels more natural and sustaining. Remember, aging is not about fighting the changes. It is about dancing with them, listening closely, adjusting tenderly, and allowing yourself to move with grace into the next season of life. Now that we have explored how your internal clock can quietly move forward, let us take a closer look at another powerful reason why you might find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m. The subtle but very real impact of physical discomfort and underlying health changes. Reason 3. Physical discomfort and health interruptions. Sometimes it is not the mind that wakes us in the quiet hours, but the body, speaking in whispers we can no longer ignore. As we age, even the smallest discomforts can pull us from sleep. A stiff joint, a full bladder, a dry throat, or a twinge in the back that was silent during the day but makes itself known at night. In the stillness of 3 a.m., these physical signals become louder, asking for attention, for care, for understanding. Let me tell you about Eleanor. At 76, Eleanor was always a light sleeper, but lately she found herself waking up around 3:30 every night. At first, she thought it was just one of those things, an inevitable part of growing older. But when she began noticing a subtle ache in her hip, a dry mouth in the early hours, and a more urgent need to use the bathroom, she realized her body was trying to tell her something. Eleanor spoke with her doctor, and what she discovered surprised her. One of her blood pressure medications was subtly affecting her hydration, making her bladder more sensitive at night. Her mild arthritis, which barely bothered her during the day, was flaring during the long hours of lying still. Together, Eleanor and her doctor made some gentle adjustments. She shifted the timing of her medication. She added a few light stretches before bed to ease her joints. She placed a glass of water by her bedside, not to gulp, but just enough to soothe a dry mouth if needed. Small changes. Simple acts of kindness toward herself. But over time, they helped Eleanor sleep more deeply. And when she did wake, she could return to rest more easily, without frustration. You see, waking up at 3 a.m. because of physical discomfort is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that your body, even now, is still alert, still responsive, still protecting you. Sometimes it is a sore shoulder asking for gentler pillows. Sometimes it is a bladder asking for attention. Sometimes it is an ache, reminding you to move more mindfully during the day. And sometimes it is simply the reality of medications doing their job, but with small side effects that need your awareness. If you notice patterns in your nighttime wakefulness, pause and listen. Is there a consistent physical trigger, a feeling of thirst, stiffness, or urgency? Rather than seeing it as an annoyance, you can treat it as an invitation to check in, to adjust, to nurture your beautiful, resilient body. Because every time your body wakes you, it is not working against you. It is working for you, keeping you safe, aware, alive. Learning to honor these quiet signals with grace, instead of frustration, can transform your nights from battles into gentle conversations, and your sleep from a struggle into a deep, healing rest. Now that we have listened closely to the body's whispers, let us explore another hidden reason why many older adults find themselves awake in the dark. The powerful role that our daily habits, often unnoticed, play in shaping our sleep. Reason 4. Lifestyle habits, quietly shifting your sleep. Sometimes it is not biology or illness that wakes us at 3 a.m. Sometimes it is the quiet accumulation of daily habits, small choices made over weeks, months, and years, that slowly nudge our sleep patterns without us even noticing. When you retire, when your days become quieter, when the pace of life slows, your body listens, and it begins adjusting itself, even if you do not intend it to. You might start eating dinner earlier, 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m., without thinking much about it. You might stop getting as much sunlight late in the day, or fall into a lovely habit of a warm evening nap after supper. All these peaceful, simple habits send subtle signals to your body. Nighttime is coming earlier. And so, naturally, your internal rhythm shifts. Your body prepares for rest earlier. and completes its full sleep cycle earlier, too. That is why you might find yourself fully awake at 3 a.m., not restless, not worried, but simply done resting, because your body believes the night has already passed. Let me tell you about Walter. Walter, 74, had always been a night owl. But after retiring, life became simpler, slower. He would eat dinner at 5 p.m., watch the evening news from his recliner, and sometimes doze off for a while before bedtime. By 8:30 p.m., Walter was in bed, asleep without even realizing it. At first, waking up at 3 a.m. frustrated him deeply. He tried reading, listening to music, even counting sheep. Nothing seemed to work. It was only when he reflected on his daily routine that the truth became clear. His body had simply shifted its entire rhythm several hours earlier. It was not broken. It was adjusting. Walter made a few gentle changes. He added a late afternoon walk to soak in more sunlight. He brightened the lights in his home during the early evening hours. He saved a favorite book or a phone call with a friend for after dinner, keeping his mind and senses engaged just a little longer. These small shifts helped push his natural sleep window later, allowing him to stay asleep deeper into the morning. And when he did wake early, he felt more refreshed, less frustrated. You see, your body craves patterns. It listens carefully to the cues you send each day. If you adjust those cues with kindness and patience, your body will respond, not overnight, but gently, faithfully, over time. If you find yourself waking up too early, try making small, loving adjustments to your daily routine. Spend more time outside in natural light, especially in the afternoon. Avoid long evening naps. Keep any rest under 30 minutes. Brighten your living spaces with warm lighting in the early evening. Engage your mind gently after dinner. Read, call a loved one, or enjoy a hobby. These small signals can slowly retrain your internal clock, helping you stay asleep longer and feel more aligned with the natural flow of the day. Above all, remember, your habits shape your nights just as much as your days. And even the smallest changes, when made with care, can bring you back to a more peaceful, nourishing sleep. Reason 5. Emotional restlessness and nighttime reflections. There is a certain kind of wakefulness that has little to do with the body and everything to do with the heart. Sometimes when the house is silent and the world is sleeping, your mind begins to stir. Memories float up, soft and unexpected. Old regrets, forgotten dreams, loved ones who are far away or long gone. They visit you in the quiet, without warning. This emotional restlessness is a very real reason why many older adults wake at 3 a.m. It is not the kind of wakefulness caused by noise or pain. It is deeper, quieter, a gentle hum of unfinished thoughts, a longing for connection, a reflection on a life richly lived, and it often comes when there are no distractions left to keep it at bay. But at night, when everything slows down, Gloria often finds herself wide awake at 3 a.m., her mind replaying memories, holidays gone by, the sound of her husband's laughter, the tender, ordinary moments that once filled her life without effort. At first, Gloria worried there was something wrong with her sleep. But over time, she realized that what she was experiencing was not insomnia. It was grief, nostalgia, and the quiet weight of a full life seeking to be remembered. Instead of fighting these wakeful moments, Gloria found a new way to embrace them. She kept a small journal by her bed. When she woke up, she would simply write down whatever came to her mind, a memory, a feeling, a small prayer of gratitude. She also started a simple evening ritual, lighting a soft candle, playing her favorite calming music, and spending a few moments reflecting on the day, giving her heart a space to speak before sleep. These small acts turned her nighttime wakefulness from frustration into quiet reflection, from loneliness into a gentle honoring of her journey. If you find yourself awake at 3 a.m. with a mind full of memories, know that you are not broken. You are human. You are alive to your story, your history, your heart. Instead of resisting, try welcoming these moments with kindness. Keep a small notebook by your bedside. Write down your thoughts without judgment. Even a few lines can bring peace. Create a simple nighttime ritual. Soft music, gratitude reflections, or prayer. If loneliness surfaces, reach out to loved ones during the day, so your heart feels fuller when night falls. Remember, the deepest kind of rest does not always come from silent sleep. Sometimes it comes from making peace with the beautiful, complex life that lives inside you. You have earned every memory, every reflection. And even at 3 a.m., your heart deserves tenderness, not frustration. As we come to the close of our quiet journey tonight, I invite you to pause and breathe. Think about what you have heard. The shifts in melatonin, the changes in your internal clock, the whispers of the body, the silent shaping of habits, and the tender stirrings of the heart at 3 a.m. Each of these reasons is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is proof that your body, your mind, your spirit, they are still alive, still adjusting, still responding with wisdom. You are not broken. You are evolving. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not a punishment, nor a failure of age. It is your life, still speaking to you, asking for understanding, gentleness, and care. And the beautiful thing is, once you understand the message, you can respond with kindness. You can make small, powerful changes. Adjust your light. Soothe your evenings. Tend to your body's needs. Listen to your heart without fear. In doing so, you will not just find deeper sleep, you will find deeper peace. With your body, your nights, and this remarkable chapter of life you are living. If something you heard today resonated with you, if it made you feel understood or a little less alone, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share. What insight touched you most? What gentle change will you try tonight? Your thoughts are precious to us, and they inspire this community to grow wiser and stronger together. And if you found comfort or value in today's video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone you care about. Your support helps us continue creating heartfelt, meaningful content for every season of life. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until we meet again, may your nights be peaceful, your mornings full of light, and your journey filled with grace.